Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mayor Billy Knight. It's time for our River City Chat. You know, I begin to look forward to these because I'm getting feedback that these chats that we have is very informative to people, and I am happy to hear that because that's what it's all about. That's what the purpose of it is, for me to keep you informed and engaged, so that you're getting it from me as to what we're doing in the city, and so you can always be aware and in a timely manner of what we're doing. You know, we just went through a budget situation that was very difficult. And maybe I shouldn't say a situation, but a budget process that was very difficult. And the reason was because we had to make some real difficult decisions that we have not made in the past, because, to be honest with you, we didn't. As I said, we've been kind of driving in the blind because we really didn't know what our ending balance was. And so we finally got some auditors in here that really looked at our financial situation and was really giving us a clear picture of where our finances are. And it wasn't good, and I told you that it wasn't good. So we had to make some decisions that I didn't like making. And none of our board members enjoyed making decisions because, you know, we had to ask you to allow us to raise the ad valorem taxes. You know, we had to raise the rates on our water, and we had to raise rates on our sewage. And that was difficult to do. But we have to do that in order to get our balanced budget and go into next year with a budget that we have to operate under, and to know what those real numbers are. And it's going to be a tight year for us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a tight year because we're going to start meeting next week with our department heads to let them know what their budget is. Every department head will be met with one-on-one to make them aware of what their budget is and how they must stay in line with their budget. Because we have no other choice. We have no money to get anywhere else to make up any difference. Now, we know there may be emergencies and things that we have to deal with, and we'll deal with those. But our people have to understand we're all going to have to make sacrifices as we work through our budget this year. But I also told you that we had a plan to get out of this situation, and we do have a plan. And you know, I told you that we were losing $37,000 a month. That's an estimate. It could be a little less, it could be more. But we're losing at least $37,000 a month on water. So what are part of the plans, other than raising those rates that we talked about? The plan is, because we want those rates that we raise to be a temporary situation. We don't want that to be a permanent thing. So at some point, we're going to be able to reduce those rates, we hope, back to what they ought to be, or at a price that is not so taxing on each one of the households. So that was part of the plan, is to raise those water rates. The second part of that plan is that we're going to be bringing in a company called Water of America. They're going to be coming in to evaluate all of our water meters. Now, we also got to get new water meters in the ground, but until we do that, we're going to bring the company in to evaluate our water meters and the way the water is running through these meters, so we can make sure that we are charging the right rate or charging the right costs for the water that's going through these meters. Because we know right now that we're not getting what we ought to be getting. We're losing money. $37,000 a month we're losing on water. So I'm trying to stop the bleeding. So now, ladies and gentlemen, when we do that, you know, some of your rates are going to go up. Some of them are not so much your rate, but what you're paying per month is probably going to go up, because we know we're not reading those meters properly. But we also know that there are some people that are using water that are not paying. And I don't want to use the word stealing, but yet they're not paying for water that they're getting. And those people out there know who they are. So this evaluation that we got coming in here now is going to give us that type of information. And once we get that information, we're going to be billing you based on the water that you're actually using. And the company tells me that we're going to be able to verify that you're actually using that amount of water. So I know some of you are going to be concerned about that because your bill probably going to go up. But we want to be fair to everybody. We don't want you to pay any more or any less than you should be paying. And we want to make sure that you're using the amount of water that you are being charged for. No more and a little less. So just know we're trying to be fair with everybody because we all have to invest in our city. And we don't want any one person or one family to be doing more than the other. So I'm just giving you a heads up that that's coming now. It may be a month or two away. But just know that this is part of the plan that we have to get us out of this situation. So that the rate, the ad valorem tax that we raise, will be a temporary thing. It's not something that I want to be permanent. But we got to go through these things in order to get to where we want to get. Raising the rates, doing the water study, and charging the proper amount of money for actual use of water. Like I said, that might be a month or two down the road before you realize this, but I'm giving you a heads up to let you know this is coming. It's all a part of our plan to get us out of this situation. Most point, I'm depending on you to understand what we're going through. We're all in this together. I ask you to know that we're trying to be fair to everybody. And if we're all in this together and believe in each other, we're going to work through this together. And we're all going to be very proud of ourselves on the other side of this. I know we will. We all will be proud that we all participated and we all invested in getting our city to the place that it ought to be. And we're going to get there. And we're going to get there by working together. Have a good day.